The war has begun combating fraud, panhandling, pretendianism, scamming, etc. Now look at this comment here, right? Look at this comment. EA's channel has provided me more benefit than every music channel on YouTube combined. Really? Where is that benefit? Are you making any money? Do you have a career in music earning money? How is his channel benefiting you than any other channel? How? And why is a channel benefiting you? Ask yourself that question. Why can somebody in society benefit you? Is your life centered around social media and not the outside world? A channel shouldn't benefit you, right? This man does not make his own music. This man betrayed his own homeboy. This man sells fraudulent consultations. He scammed me out of $300. Well, I didn't get any information at all from the consultation. So did many other people who were scammed and conned by these phony consultations. And plus these super chats. What grown man panhandles and begs from hardworking people? Why can't he just find a job if he really needs money like that? You don't see Easy Mo B bumming and panhandling for money, and he can make beats. He has countless hits, way more hits than EA Ski and CMT. And I'm talking about Billboard charting hits. You don't see him bumming and begging on these apps. You don't see Pete Rock bumming and begging and panhandling and selling phony consultations on this app. You don't see Dr. Dre. And Dr. Dre has a team of producers, and at times he doesn't make beats. He has his team like Focus making the beats. But unlike EA Ski, who doesn't give credit to Tom McCree and Dominic Bazile, he gives credit to his production team. Yes, there's songs that he didn't make the beats, but he still gives verbal acknowledgement and credit to Scott Storch, Focus. He has said in many interviews, Scott Storch did that. Dr. Dre has said in many interviews, Focus did that. And all the others associated in his production team, Dr. Dre has verbally acknowledged these guys. But have you ever seen EA Ski verbally acknowledge CMT? His last two production credits, right, with Ice Cube, he has not verbally stated that Dominic Bazile and Thomas McCree made those tracks, because he wants everything to be about Ski. This guy is the one who needs a psychiatrist. He is a sociopath, right, and a narcissist. He fits the mold of a grifter, the profile of a classic grifter, because only grifters bum and beg and panhandle, sir. Only grifters look to con people with bait and switch, fake phony consultations. Only grifters choose to rip off someone else's drums and then sell them as if he did it. Only grifters do that, sir. Only grifters will betray your own childhood friend where he doesn't even associate with you anymore because you wanted to take all the credit for something that you didn't do. Only grifters behave in that fashion, sir. So this is for all you brainwashed individuals who constantly keep falling for these grifters. Now, Ray Daniels brought this out in a video, right, with one of his homeboys who've been accused of grifting with these fake phony consultations. He called it out. And you have all these artists in here, young artists, who brought this to the attention, right, of everyone, to beware of these pretending fake phony people in the industry. They're con artists, they're crooks, they're grifters. And here you go supporting grifters because you're brainwashed and you're blind. Either you are a grifter or you're just a naive individual, just like the naive individuals who followed Nature Boy. Remember that cult? Nature Boy? Look where Nature Boy is right now. Nature Boy is in federal prison for the rest of his life. How does that feel when grifting goes wrong and being a quote unquote charismatic leader leading a bunch of blind sheep go wrong? Now, all those people who followed him, now they feel very, very bad about following that guy because they're the typical people who can't distinguish between fact and fiction. They keep following these grifters on social media instead of following your homeboy, following your family member. Listen to your parents. They don't do that. They will fall for any misinformation posted on the internet and use it as gospel. This is getting ridiculous. And as of, I'm going to educate you, sir. As of May 2026, the war has begun against grifters. The war has begun against con artists. The war has begun against panhandlers. The war has begun against squatters and pretendians. This spread of misinformation and trying to capitalize from misinformation and fraud is coming to an end. From the PPP loan scammers to the romance scammers, all the way to the check washers. And I said before, the squatters. The cons game or the con game is coming to an end and people are being held accountable. This man is not who you say or who you think he is. You have not gone anywhere further in your career because you know why you have not gone further in your career in music? Because music is a business and the business only looks for the best of the best. All these people on YouTube is doing is trying to hustle you to spend money to support them. Not you. You spend money and you get nothing back in return tangible. Other than a dream, other than a wish, other than a pep talk. Your parents can give you a pep talk. Give them a super chat. Do you see football coaches who encourage their team? Do they get super chats for encouraging their team? Do players give them extra money on the side for encouraging them to be better men? What is this world coming to, dude? Are y'all people that ignorant and naive and gullible? You must be. How does it feel to be that way? To be that gullible and naive, to fall for anything? This man has literally convinced you just because my name is EA Ski, you should give me your whole paycheck. What kind of madness is this? Do you see Michael Jordan ask people for super chats and panhandling and begging just because he's Michael Jordan? Do you see any music producer, Pete Rock, for example, Marley Marl, for example, Jazzy Jeff, for example, panhandling and begging for donations, promoting false consultations? No, they are busy making money from working in the industry, right? DJing, right? Performing gigs. They are DJs who are also performing artists. So they create for the industry, people in the industry as a business. They are hired to do the work. They go out and perform shows that people pay to see them. Right? That's a difference. What this guy is doing and a few others are doing, they're going on YouTube and panhandling and telling you, you don't need a job. You're working for the Weinsteins. They're mocking you because you have a job, yet they're begging you for a portion of your paycheck. What kind of crap is that? This dude mocks you for having a job and then turns around and begs you for money, for super chats. What kind of crap is that? What kind of crap is that? I'm going to say this again so you can adhere and understand. EA Ski mocks you for having a job, yet he begs and panhandles for your paycheck. Does that make any sense to you, sir? You are constantly out of money, but you have no return on your investment. None. You are not making any money from that information that's putting money in your pocket. All you are doing, sir, is spending more and more money. This is called the long con. Do you know what a long con is, sir? Do you know what a long con is? I'm going to educate you on what a long con is. Long con or big con is an elaborate confidence game. Remember you said, I've gotten so much from you, from the channel. That's part of the game, to build your confidence, right? An elaborate confidence game that unfolds over weeks, months, or years, aiming for a large payout rather than quick, small profits. Swindlers systematically build trust through friendship, romance, or fake business opportunities to manipulate victims, often using teams, props, and staged scenarios. Slow trust building. The scammer invests significant time gaining the victim's confidence, often pretending to be a long-lost heir, romantic partner, or investment expert, right? This guy doesn't make any beats. CMT made all the beats. Dominic Bazile and Thomas McCree are making his tracks. Do you see what we're getting here? He's using other people to promote himself, to influence you, gain your confidence, to get your money. And all you have been doing for the past 4 years following this guy is spending more money and losing and spending your valuable time following this guy. And he is giving you absolutely nothing in return. You haven't gone anywhere in your career. Because you know why? The industry is made for the best of the best. And it's based on contracts, based on actual working, a job. Because the industry is actually a job. CEOs, CFOs, executives, that's a job. And that's in the music industry. That's a job. They get a paycheck. But this guy is telling you they are the Weinsteins. Your employer is the Weinsteins. The reason why he says that is because he's a bum. He doesn't want to work. Has this guy ever had a job? No. So when this money flow, right, stops, he's not going to get a job, put in an application and work like everybody else. He has gone accustomed to panhandling and bumming and begging. And the only way he can get the money is convince you. Right? Gain your confidence. That's what he is doing. So if you don't understand this concept, sir, then you need to get a psychiatrist yourself. Just like somebody's like a lot of these other followers of EA Ski, he claims, oh, people have mental. No, you have the mental disorder, sir. You are in denial and you're a narcissist. You are a grifter, sir. You refuse to take on the challenge and be honest and transparent to your viewers. And then you have all these minions, right? Lost minions who still don't understand. You're going to be following this guy and will go absolutely nowhere. I'm telling you, you're not going to go anywhere because that's not how the music industry works. The music industry works from sheer talent, management, and promotion. If you have talent, right? If you have sheer talent, raw talent, or even learned talent, and that is marketable, right? You gaining traction, right? Then the labels will come to you with a deal, a contract, which that contract makes you an employee. So even as an artist, you are still working for the Weinsteins. Do you understand? You are still considered a contract employee. Just like an NFL football player, they are still part of the NFL. There's essentially an employee contracted by the NFL or even the NBA for basketball players. And once their contract is up, their services are no longer needed. That's a job. What this dude is doing, he is convincing you that you don't need a job, even though the music industry is a job, right? The real music industry, not this pretending and stuff on YouTube. You're going to have to work for somebody. You're going to have to be under the umbrella of somebody. But this dude here has convinced you that's not the case. You know why? Because he sits at home every day and has convinced you to blow your paycheck on him while he sells you a dream. That's all he is doing, dude. So are you going to wake up finally in your life and stop being scammed by these people? Are you going to continue to keep being scammed, continue to get his man super chats, right? Because he demands you to do it. This man literally in his videos demanded his followers to give them super chats, to give him super chats. Because I'm entitled to that. I'm EA Ski. You're supposed to give me. You don't see any other producer do that. I'm talking about the real ones, the top ones, the big guys. You don't see any of them do that. Only him, because he's desperate. He is desperate. He is very, very desperate because he does not want to work. He doesn't want to work at all. All he wants you to do, he wants you to work, and he gets part of your paycheck. That's a classic long con and the grifter.